Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and of course today we need to talk about more mod that you can use in this incoming raid, and I promise you guys some of these today are going to be really fun and things you probably have not considered at all. So, the first one up here, one of my absolute favorites in this build, that is Hisuian Gudra. This is the Hisuian form of Gudra because that gives you that steel type. Now, I did say dragons are a big no-no, but she is bulky enough. She should be able to tank a few hits, and also, obviously, with the Steel Terror, once you terrestrialize, you kind of lose all those weaknesses. So she's kind of like the exception to the dragon rule. Now, obviously, Shell Bell to recoup some damage. If we come over here, I'm using Shell Armor to protect from critical hits. It just makes the game a little more predictable. I don't think it's a world-ending ability. None of her moves have high critical rates, but if you guys watch the live streams, I have a really bad habit of getting critical hit. So I just like the ability to negate some of that. Now, just have had really bad RNG on the crits. Now, you'll notice right out of the gate, I am building mine as a physical attacker. Physical attack is a little lower than special attack. She is predominantly a special attacker, but we are going to build her for physical attack because Primarina's got a much higher special defense. On top of that, we've got really good special defense, so it makes her a great candidate. Decent HP, not the best HP. The downside with her build is they're really, 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 really slow. And since, as you can see over here, we're using Curse, we are going to be even slower. We are like the last one to move on the board. There is an upside to that, but the potential downside is that we have to wait for damage to be done before we can recoup that damage. So we need to be mindful of that through our build. So build-wise, and I'm going to start from the bottom here, we're going to be using Heavy Slam as our main DPS. I have tried out all the other moves because Hisuian Gudra, specifically, Hisuian Gudra is over 700 pounds. She outweighs Primarina 7-1, and that makes this way more damaging than any of the other steel physical moves in our repertoire. Probably even more so than most of the steel special attack moves. Curse is basically going to be used as our buff. It costs us some speed points, but you can see speed's not an issue anyway. But it will increase our special attack and our physical attack. So, gives us a lot to deal with there. I'm going to skip Sleep Talk and I'm going to go to Tearful Look. Tearful Look will lower her special attack down, and that'll give us the ability to kind of sustain more damage before we really are sweating. Finally, Sleep Talk. Now, you guys know Primarina has the ability to use Sing, and that can be such a major pain. So what I'm doing is I'm using Sleep Talk. That'll pick one of these three moves at random and will basically allow us to continue on to the battle, even though we are asleep. It just does it like with RNG, but it can work out. So let's go ahead and jump into the battle here. All right, so as we enter the battle here, my first real, I guess, warning to you is that her sleep does throw like just an RNG nightmare into this. It can be fun. It can be really fun, but my biggest thing is I want to get my heavy slams out here early to get my terrestrialization, and I want to plan my Tearful Look for essentially right after she removes her stat changes, because that way we can then affect that for the rest of the battle. She's going to do damage here, but we can heal a ton of it, but I'm basically going to save all of my healing. Oh, nice. We got Grassy Drain. That's great. So I'm going to save all of my debuffing for, like, strategic moments. And buffing, in fact, as well. So here comes the Heavy Slam. Oh, we are asleep. No! That's the worst part. If she nails that sleep right out of the gate like she loves to do, you basically lose one, maybe even 2 turns. So I'm going to do a Sleep Talk here. Now, if he wakes up while we've initiated Sleep Talk, then essentially we lose a second turn. It's the downside to Gudra's build. Gudra being pretty slow. We're going to do one of 3 moves here. Let's see. What's he going to do? Nice! Okay. I really want that next turn, but because she's going to negate everything here in just a second, I'm going to do a second Sleep Talk. You know what? She negated her. I'm going to do a Tearful Look in the hope we wake up. If we don't wake up now, we're going to lose that ability to debuff. And I think no matter what we do... Oh, excellent. Perfect. I did It's usually about 2 turns you stay asleep. So if you plan it right, you could do like 1 sleep talk and then something else. That debuffing is going to basically save us for the rest of the match. But I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to take an L here. Well, maybe. Let's see if we can cheer heal. Let's see how much healing cheer heal does. If I get lucky and I get a ton of health, that'll be really nice. If I don't get a lot of health... Okay, we got enough. We got enough. Cheer heal seems to be RNG laden as well, but that is what it is. We're going to eat a Moonblast. Notice it doesn't do as much damage. Did some damage, but not as much. We can probably eat 1 more. But the downside is with her barrier now put up, we can no longer debuff. We will no longer do much damage until we Terra. So I'm going to go ahead and do... Yep. I'm going to go ahead and do an attack here. I don't know how many attacks I've lost count. I think I need 3 more hits before we can terrastalize. So we'll just take a creative L here. Yeah. We'll eat this Moonblast, take the 5 seconds, reset everything, then we'll come back in and get that terastalization. Main thing is we want that Terra. That Terra changes everything. Once we terastalize, we lose our weakness. She is debuffed, which is great, and that's going to help us take more hits. Once again, if you had EV trained, I did not in this situation, but if you had EV trained, you probably could take 3 of those before you kiss it. So that's why I say special defense and HP. Oh, I can actually eat 3 with her debuffs, so that's good. Yeah, we got like no health out of that, but it'll be all right. We're really lucky to have the grassy terrain. Let's do another super slam. Okay, eat a Moonblast. The good news is we haven't taken a critical hit yet, and I think that a lot of that comes down to Gudra's ability. Okay, can we terastalize? We can. So I can Terra and I can Curse now. That's great news. So the terastalization is essentially going to knock down all of those attacks she's doing, where we're going to take so much less damage. Plus she is debuffed, so we can probably do like 2, maybe 3 curses, and then just start going to town on her. I'm going to probably say 2 curses, then attack. So here's a curse. And basically by the time you see the amount of damage that Gudra can do with 2 curses, imagine 3, 4, 5, and 6. So basically curse, attack, or do a pair of curses and then an attack. Unfortunately, I am low on time only because I just got really bad RNG at the beginning. I'm also not a terribly patient person, so all this waiting for us to do attacks is driving me nuts. But if you're patient and if you're methodical, this can be a fantastic maneuver. So let's go ahead and do a heavy slam here. Now, I want to emphasize this is with only 2 curses. We're not in great shape, but we'll get some great healing out here. And this is why I say after 2 curses, I can probably do a curse, a slam, a curse, a slam, and build ourselves back up. So we took, well, you know, not quite enough to make me happy. I'm going to do another heavy slam. Let's do another one. Now we're on the north side of damage. So as you can see here, if you can get the terastalization off a lot earlier, if you get lucky with the sleep talk or with her not singing you to just Hades and back at the beginning, then you'll be a lot more effective. The other half of it here is I should have put some PP in my heavy slams, so I am at a deficit there. Just PP up your heavy slams. Do your HP and your special defense EVs. You'll be in much better shape than I am, but as you can see, I'm already on a path to success. So we'll definitely have this in the bag. So as you're seeing, a really heavy mon with heavy slam can be a huge benefit. So other mon that can learn heavy slam, such as Registeel and even Archulodon, these guys can actually be really good. The downside of Archulodon is it has a very good special defense. Mine's even special defense down, so you can increase that stat quite a bit. But probably he's had enough HP. I think he'll be fine. Plus, his physical attack is extraordinarily high. The downside to him, his weight, I think he'd even lose his weight when he evolves. So maybe Duraludon would be better in this situation. But either way, basically a great way to go about this. Now, that brings me to a fun one, and that is Groudon. Now, Groudon, on the face of it, you're like, what? Really? Give him a Steel Terra. Give him that Heavy Slam. All you need is Swords Dance, Heavy Slam, and in this case, Sleep Talk. And this guy will go to town. So while on the face of it, you're probably like, Groudon? Really? Really? The answer is yeah, absolutely Groudon. So what we're going to do is we're going to get one Swords Dance off, and we're going to try to basically... Okay, we avoided this thing. That's great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into Heavy Slam. And I just want to show you how much damage it does without Terastallization. Now, imagine if you were triple Swords Dance with Terastallization, how much damage that's going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically going to do four Heavy Slams so that I can essentially Terastallize as early as possible. Now, she can hurt us pretty badly, and notice how quickly that barrier went up. We're going to get essentially no healing until we Terra. We are probably going to take a decisive L here in a moment, but should I say it's for the sake of science? I probably should. So let's go ahead and do it here. Bam. In fact, now that I'm really thinking about it, that early Swords Dance probably was unnecessary. You probably could just open up with with 4 Heavy Slams in a row. Eat the 5-second L. You know, we'll call that the 5-second rule. Short-term loss, long-term gain, like I always say. And then when you come back in, you can Terastallize, do your Swords Dances, and you'll be much better off. But, you know, once again, I can't tell you how many times we do these raids, and we sit here and we're like, okay, just take the 5-second L and walk away. I'll call it the Pokemon Terra Raid 5-second rule. Or just the 5-second rule for short. Alright, so we ate that. That's abnormal. Normally we get our Terastallization off earlier, but it is what it is. There's a downside to getting your Terra off too early, and that is simply that you have an outside chance of just simply not being able to get what you need out of it. So, here we go. We are back. We are fresh. We can Terra. We will be super effective against most of our attacks, and we can start doing our complement of Swords Dances. Now, while we can't debuff her in this state, we can buff ourselves. And we want to go all the way to the top with this. Do bear in mind that you want to use your Heavy Slams to kind of recoup damage as necessary, so keep an eye on your health. But I also want to build up my attack a whole lot. Sing is a definite threat, but, you know, we have Sleep Talk. We have Sleep Talk, so we're going to be fine. Now, Sleep Talk it's a 50-50 chance of it attacking or of it doing Swords Dance. Either one, frankly, I'm pretty cool with at this juncture, because it's only 2 turns, right? Like, this is just a, I'd have preferred a Swords Dance, but I'll take a Heavy Slam. That's why I say I'll take a Heavy Slam. All right. Let's do one more Sleep Talk. As I always say, 2 Sleep Talks is more than enough. Oh, he woke up early. It is what it is. So now, I am going to be doing my Swords Dances. Let's do a Heavy Slam and see how much health we can get back. Let's see. Can we get some health back? Okay, yeah. So probably what I'll do is I'll do a Swords Dance, Heavy Slam, Swords Dance, and then we'll go into our Heavy Slam complement. This thing was a, let's call it a distraction. I don't think it's the worst thing. Oh, okay. So that's the good news. We actually have a grassy terrain now, so we'll get some health back from that. Not something you want to rely on, but it is what it is. Sig just kind of threw a monkey wrench in our whole repertoire, but it'll be fine. Barring a critical hit. I really don't want to say that, because usually I say that and then it happens. But, you know, critical hit will throw a major wrench in our system. But all we need to do is break her barrier. So, in fact, you can see here, I probably don't need the final Swords Dance, but I'm going to do it anyway. Ouchies. Ouchies. You know what? I'm not going to do it. Let's just finish her off. There's no need to mess with it. There's no need to, like, you know, treat her like a plaything. Let's just finish her off. So, I want to emphasize here, only 2 Swords Dances. Only 2. Can imagine 3. 3 would be, like, the perfect scenario. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're going down. At this stage of the game, usually she starts trying to do multiple attacks per turn. I've never seen her do a sing this late in the game, but she's desperate. She knows she's going down at this point. The downside is I didn't get my triple heavy slams, but we're really, really, really close. One more attack will do it, so there you go. And that's that. Now, unfortunately, this brings me to my final build, and I am at a bit of a deadline, so I cannot show you the run right now. I will upload this tomorrow in a short. But Clodsire. Now, Clodsire is a fun situation here, and I'll kind of explain why. But the main thing is mine's a Poison Terra. You want a Steel Terra Clodsire. Now, he will take some damage, but a Poison Terra is a death sentence. So go ahead and give him a Steel Terra, give him a Shell Bell, and then come over here and give him Water Absorb. Here's the big thing about this, right? None of the stats are that great, but with the ability that Primarina has, her Sing move turns into a water move. That's right, all sound-based moves become water moves. With Water Absorb, he's actually able to negate the effects of sleep. He will not go to sleep. Sleep Talk, Heavy Slam, Amnesia, and Poison Jab, just essentially to build up your Terra, are going to be fantastic moves. And just like we saw with Groudon, he's a heavy mon. Heavy Slam after the Steel Terra does an insane amount of damage. So essentially, what you do is this basically takes everything we've learned up till now, negates the effects of her Sing, and allows us to go crazy. I love this build. I can't wait to show you guys this build. I regret we can't do it today, but tomorrow I will upload a short to this channel, so make sure you guys subscribe to stay up to date with us. We will run this, and we will have a lot of fun with that. So I hope to see you guys then. Like, comment, share. Have fun with this raid. I'll be back with more builds here coming up very soon.